You know, one of the advantages of working from home is if your home gym studio is also co-located, then you don't have to travel very far for your workout. Voila, there we go. So today, you're gonna be working out with me. Well, not really. I know there's only so much we can do virtually, but I recently signed up for a HYROX because I'm just a bit of a weird sicko that follows mass trends, and did it with a longtime friend called Harry Stovey. University friend. We've done many things together, partied, seen the best and worst of each other, traveled to Europe, traveled to Japan, drunk way too many beers, lived together as housemates. And in our early 30s, what feels like literally a lifetime apart, we signed up for this. Why? Stick around and we'll find out. So, because a plan is the absolute opposite of an accident, I love having all of my workouts pre-planned. I'm very fortunate that I got a trainer. His name is Tree, and he uses this app called Trainerize, which logs all of my workouts. Today, I actually started the week in reverse. I started with a day 2 workout. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd. So I'm going to start with a day 1 stretch because I haven't done it. So this is a combination strength and mobility. So a couple of warm-ups over here, barbell, chin up, and dumbbell. But to spice things up, because I'm starting my slow and very uninformed progression towards HYROX preparation, I've started splashing a couple of 1 kilometer sprints in between my workouts. So I might do like 3 exercises, then duck out for a 1 kilometer sprint, come back, do the next few exercises, come out, just to try and get that, that up and down cardio recovery flying. I think there's a better word for it. I don't know what it is, but the ability to basically regulate between different heart zones or heart rate zones. Bit of a conversational one today. No real agenda, no real script, just sharing you into a workout. Not that I think I'm a health influencer anytime soon, nor is any advice I'm going to share to be taken on. This is all for educational and entertainment purposes only. So if there's anything you want to challenge or push back on, feel free to throw it in the comments. Give me the research study or talk to a physician or someone that knows what they're actually on about, because even though I might look the part, I might have a decent physique, I definitely feel like I've got all the gear but no idea sometimes. So let's do this. All right, let's start this off. We have got world's greatest stretch. All right, let's do this. 1, 2. Aim for 40 of these. It's about 2 minutes. I feel like there comes this kind of point in every bloke's life where he kind of looks around at himself in the mirror, maybe gets on a bit of a scroll and gets too many Jocko Williams, David Goggins, kind of like male grind set videos, and just decides they need to go and break themselves. I genuinely think there is something about doing or having a level of physical confrontation or physical exertion where you are forced to break your own comfort zone. And that can look different for everyone. One point in my life that was bodybuilding, another point in my life that was lacrosse, breakdancing, basketball, then doing like half marathons and a sprint triathlon, and just going through all these different seasons and not really persisting in any of them. But I think the one thing that has been consistent is that I've been evolving and constantly jumping into new domains and new arenas. I think that's kind of the joy of this journey, this ongoing journey of mastery, is that you've never really conquered any domain. And yes, while it might look like as if I've constantly climbed all these mountains or built half bridges across different areas, I feel like each of those have kind of revealed a different flavor or pushed a different boundary or limit through the mastery of that particular sport or pursuit. Shows or puts parts of me on my radar that I didn't previously see before. I think that's pretty fucking cool. All right, we've done 40 there. I just clock them all on the iPad as I get through these bad boys. I hope that was 40. I think that was. It's hard to talk and do this thing simultaneously, so I hope you can understand. Cat-cow spinal rotation. Been loving this one. We don't do it enough for some guys. We think all this stretching is below us, or it's a bit for the girlies, all the yoga Pilates stuff. But man, the one piece I was missing all along with so much of my, fitness and physique was, yeah, sure, Dan, great. I might have had great aesthetic, looked lean, but my stabilizer muscles, my glutes, all of that was like not dialed in like I thought it had been. Turns out I recently had an instance where I had an SI or sacroiliac syndrome, a bit of an issue with basically some of the nerves running down my butt. And because, as my exercise physio said, my outer or superficial muscles and mobility, or in fact, the phrase was called hypermobility, means that my outer muscles have to compensate and work so much harder. And so I have this thing called resting tone, where like basically these muscles are always locked on or are always overworking for so many things in my life, which means it has meant that my inner muscles have not worked as hard. And that means that when push came to shove and I returned doing some workouts after taking like a 2-3 week hiatus when I went to India earlier this year, I think it was like one bad Bulgarian split squat. And it just, it pulled something or jerked something and then just led to like all these nerve injuries or nerve pains I had for like weeks. I had to go see an exercise physio, like stop running, stop cycling, stop doing like gym workouts, really like literally put me on the floor, both physically and emotionally. Like it was the first time in my life, because I've been pretty injury free for most of my life. I haven't broken bones. I haven't had too many major surgeries when I couldn't move. And if I can be really upfront, like that, other than the time when my dad passed away, was one of the few crossroads when I acknowledged the importance and also the fragility of my health and physique. That like one single move, one single motion can like really throw you off and set you back weeks, if not months. And that's really all that we have. You know, and there was no amount of money or silver bullet that could have just shortcut the whole thing. So there I was having to spend, I think, 6 to 8 weeks doing very slow, dedicated exercises just to reactivate and to down train the muscles in this area. Gratefully, I'm back. And hence I thought kind of in the surge of optimism and of appreciation, that would be a great time for me to commit to some physical exercise to kind of build some momentum and help me work towards something. And so hence the HYROX sign up became a no-brainer. It was an idea that Harry and I danced with when I met him and his beautiful fiance and their newborn, as something that Lou had done in the past. And so, yeah, dots, all the stars connected. We realized it was the right time for it. All right. Goblet squat. Now, I do not have an actual goblet, so I emulate it. For now, it was a 10 kilo. Whoop. In the same position. All right, let's go. Down, up. Do excuse me if the mic's been knocking around. First time I've been trying this sort of wireless clip-on mic while working out. But yeah, I think after this goblet squat, I'm going to dash out, do my 1K run, and then come back. There you go, a couple of mozzies, because I know I'm a big juicy boy. They want some of these, eh? Not surprised. All right, let's do another one. All right, now it's time to get jiggy with it. So here's the idea. We're going to go for a 1K run, aim for about a 5 minute 15 pace, not too hard. Then we come back and then we've got a barbell back squat and then a barbell bench press. So I will be tanked. All right, let's freaking do this. Let's go, baby. Best thing is doing it at sunset. Look at that view. How good is that? Yeah, I'm running back to that baby. Exactly 500 meters up to the end of this road is 500, and then back to my house 500. You can obviously hear how out of shape I am. Man, the cardio hits hard. Yeah, cardio, I think you gotta stay on top of, eh? Bit of a cheeky uphill. It is what it is. The HYROX is all flat. Indoor venue. No hills, should be cruisy. Oh yeah. Not bad. Not bad, man. Still got it. Man is also dead. Now, this is the zone that matters. We've done the 1K. Easy breathing. Launching straight into the next exercise. All right, we are not going to OT. Got to load it up. It's a 20 kilo Olympic barbell. Plus 20 here, 20 here. You do the math. And that should be 60. I've slowly been ramping up, as I said, ever since my sacroiliac or SI injury. There was one point when I was probably, squatting like 100, 110. I'm about 70 kilos for reference. So as recommended by my exercise phys, instead of ramping back up to the previous levels I once had, bit by bit. I'm talking, I started, I think the first time I did this weeks ago, I literally started with a 20 kilo bar just to get technique right. And there's something to say about optimizing for sustainability and doing right technique, because it just takes a little bit of ego, a little bit of excitement to jump right into it and do it the wrong way. So yeah, eventually from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and just the classic progressive overload. So let's do this.
Down, up.
So while I'm struggling to breathe, taking a little rest between sets, what is it for you? What is that exercise or that event that is outside the periphery of your comfort zone? You know, you may have been peaking in high school and playing all the sports and had all the mobility, but at this age, whether you are 25, 30, 35, 50, 80, there is something all of us can do. I hope that till the final day that I'm live, I'm still moving. I hope that I can extend how long it is that I can be alive for, because I'm constantly moving. The best sport is the one that you'll maintain and you'll do. So what does that look like for you? All right, let's lock in.
Down, up.
Very good. So after this, just for reference, I'll be jumping to the barbell bench press. But for now, I've got 2 more sets. So I'll probably just keep it at 50, maybe push for 6, maybe 7. It doesn't say push to failure, but we'll see. And the barbell bench press straight underneath it. So there we go. This home gym I bought, I reckon it's just over $1,000 Australian dollars. One of the best investments I've made. And I think I did that in like the peak of COVID, when obviously everyone was like at home selling gym equipment and doing stuff. This eradicates any friction or any excuses towards working out. It's never the traffic. It's never that it's raining. It's never whatever reason is out there. It's literally underneath the house. So rain, hail or shine, both my partner and I can hold each other to the standard of like, you either did it or you didn't. Simple as that. So I love it. And all right, let's go.
Down, up.
Got asked by one of the boys I link up with. There's a sauna and ice bath magnesium pool spot near where I live called Vicasati, and I've started linking up with a couple of guys that go there regularly. Really good just to see some boys like linking up and not doing around beers, but actually just like having good chats. Phones down, like super present. I feel that's like very rare nowadays. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, one of the guys asked me, he's like, when did you start taking your health seriously? And bit of a cliched statement, but it's that phrase when it says, man has 2 lives. The first is when they're born, and the second is when they realize they only have one. And that experience came to me when my old man, the late and great Sylvester Miko Odoi, passed away of a sudden heart attack. In other content on my channel, you know, it's part of my story. I was overseas on a content creation trip, the first kind of foray into being a contentpreneur, whatever that looked like. And yeah, middle of the trip, just got a call that he had a heart attack. No signs, just 61, gone. While I'd argue, you know, from a medical perspective, it's probably the cleanest and easiest way to go. No suffering, no elongated complications. Definitely a feeling that it happens sooner than expected or it should have. And I think that's the first time in my life that I realized like nothing's guaranteed. And if like you don't take care of yourself, like no one else will. My dad wasn't the most fit super athlete Iron Man in the world. He wasn't the worst. He was somewhat active on his foot, on foot, running a factory and moving around a bit. But yeah, the health habits and what he did in his downtime probably wasn't as favorable towards his long-term health. And so I don't know what it is for you. It might be having kids. It might be being healthy enough to be able to pick up your grandkids at one point, or seeing your kids walk down the aisle, whatever it means for you. But you got to look after this, because it is the only one that you get.
Down, up.
Love that. Green's the color. Let's keep green on both. All right. How much are we going for? Got it at 40. Yeah, I'll go for 40 on this one. 7.
Down, up.
Oh yeah. For those who don't know, I live in Brisbane, East Coast Australia. It's in the northern east state of Queensland. And I got to be honest, I lived 22 years in Melbourne, just under 2 years in Sydney. Then eventually came up to Brisbane after meeting my beautiful partner, Maddie. Been together for like just over 7.5 years. We were doing long distance originally. I was in Sydney, she was in Brisbane. We crossed over in Sydney on a dating app called Hinge. And 4 weeks, no, not 4 weeks, 1 week after we met and had a great date, great first date, she got a job offer to go to Brisbane. And I was like, you got to pick your career over me. Like, you just met me. Like, I think I'm okay, but like, your career is the North Star. And we thought that'd be the end of it. So we dated for 4 weeks and we said, let's be the relationship that never was. And then even after we separated, we couldn't stop talking. And that is why your boy's here in Brizzy. Never thought I'd be a Brizzy boy, but yeah.
Down, up.
Now, just to put it to rest, I don't think there's any single best city in Australia or really in the world. Like, the livability, and sure, we have it pretty good here in Australia, you know, benefits and drawbacks. But it's all a matter of stage of life. And that's what I've been telling so many people, like, over and over. Melbourne was perfect when you were young and partying, you're going to university in the, you know, CBD, University of Melbourne, you work in the city, you're going out, the clubs, nightlife, incredible. And then, like, when you have a little bit more money, a little bit later in your career, like I was when I moved from the Uber Melbourne team to the regional office in Sydney, man, Sydney's a fun place. Like, gotta be honest, can't afford to live there, but like, to have a well-paid career or a job that takes you there, fantastic. And then when you want to slow down, you don't need those big city perks and the big city energy. Brisbane, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours to like Gold Coast and Sunny Coast respectively. Just like a quieter coming up city with the kind of pre-Olympics energy. Beautiful.
Down, up.
All right, you know what time it is. Time to move. Let's do this. All right, we're coming back for chin-ups and a dumbbell deadlift. All right, another K. Let's go. Let's get it in. It is getting dark outside, but we'll make the most of it. By the way, this is the behind the scenes of an iPhone. Hopefully the audio's still rocking on it. And this is the other behind the scenes of the other camera. Not a bad position, locked in. Nice. Ambience here. This is pretty good. This is pretty chill. All right, let us do this. Smooth and slow. That's what we're going to do. Just steady on this one. Let's freaking go. Yeah, boy. That's a lot better. Smoother, steadier. Chin-ups. And then dumbbell deadlifts. Chin-ups, killer. A little bit of hand sweat. Let's go.
Down, up.
If you made it this far, massive shout out. A lot of love, a lot of appreciation. Yeah, I just thought I'd change up the formats because I was feeling I was a bit on the back foot this week. Got a few moving pieces on some of the work and projects I'm doing at the moment. And I just thought, it comes to the end of the day and I keep putting off or deprioritizing when I'm actually going to record a video or ideate, research, validate, title, thumbnail, all the above. So here, a classic bit of wisdom from a man called Ben Hargraves. It says, do not make your life fit your content. Make your content fit your life. And this is what it looks like.
Down, up.
Perfect timing, 6:22 right now. Finish up this set, get cooking, some rump steaks tonight. It'll be real good.
Down, up.
All right, nice and easy, bringing this one home. This is a dumbbell deadlift. My dilemma is the max weight I've got on both my dumbbells is 10 kgs. And I should have invested in some heavier dumbbells years ago, but I just haven't so far. So to emulate 12.5 kilograms in each arm, I just use my 25 kilo weight plate over here with a similar technique. And here we go. 3 sets of 12. Let's make it happen.
Down, up.
All right, bring it to a close. You know what it is. If you made it this far, drop a cheeky little 1 or 2, either a like or a comment. If you made it this far, help your boy out, making it through my pain. But what are you committing to? What are you doing this week? When are you next moving? What is the exercise that you found that is your cadence or your rhythm right now? I would love to hear it. All right, Mamba's muscle gym. Let's finish.
Down, up.
Telling you, the sleep I get, the amount of deep sleep I get, day after or the night following a workout, I'm like a baby, nothing like it. All right, final one, we bring it home.
Down, up.
Oh, good, appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. If this video was of any value, let me know. If it wasn't, I won't be offended. But putting this in the books, clocking it, hitting upload, wasn't the best workout. Today wasn't the best day, but still showing up and making progress. That's all that matters to me. That's all that matters when I'm 80. That's all that matters when I'm looking back over my life. So keep at it. Much love. And I'll see you on the next one.